Welcome to Next Level Chats with Punk Mbedzi. Remember to dial star 128 hash to get your 1 gig data bundle for only 19 rands and be part of the next level lifestyle. Today I have a guest all the way from Limpopo. His name is Chymamusique. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Colin Motla, also known as Chymamusique. I'm a DJ, I'm a music producer, I'm a sound engineer, I'm a media graduate, I'm a events planner, I'm everything music. So yeah, and yeah, I'm honored to be featured on this show, Next Level.
Okay, Mr. Collin.
Yes.
How's it, bro?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
So, how would you, besides being all these things, besides being a DJ, a producer, and all these things, as you as an individual, how would you describe yourself, and how was it like for not Chymamusique, for Colin? How was it for him growing up?
I would describe myself as someone who's quite. I like just being in the background. I believe I've got humility and God fearing, and someone also who just likes people. So more than anything, I believe I'm a positive person, and I'm a fighter. Because given the things that I've seen up until I got where I am, so I believe I'm a fighter. So I think I would describe Colin as that, and also an academic, because I did go to school quite many times. So that's how I can describe myself.
Okay, we'll get into that just now. But I want to find out. Everything has changed, in our industry.
Yeah.
What's the new normal for you now?
The new normal for me is to wake up and lock myself into the studio. At least now I can run again, and I see the gyms are open. I'm still reluctant when it comes to that, but now I'm back in studio. I'm always in studio all the time, and watch TV then there. I never used to watch TV really, but then because I've got so much time at home, and also I do lots of research about interior decor, paints, and all sorts of artwork, and also just new equipment, music equipment, So new normal is basically phone, studio, TV, cooking. Also, I've been learning how to cook.
So those are the new hobbies you picked up as well.
Yes,
That's dope. That's
absolutely,
dope, man.
Yeah.
So the industry has changed for us. When you gig, you no longer gig the same way as you used to this time last year. I remember this time last year, bookings flying left, right, and center. What do you miss most about events and being out there and interacting with people like we used to at this time last year?
Man, there's a difference now. People are doing virtual parties, which I feel is people are tired of watching. So I think one thing I miss is playing for someone that I see. When you play and they come and
fist bump,
give you that fist bump. Now you can't get it anymore, and more than anything, also you avoid contact. Always people,
social distancing.
The whole social distancing thing has just taken that away from us. And also, for us, music obviously is work. So, you feel like you're fired. You're fired and you're locked in jail. So I miss just that the freedom, man. The freedom. Yeah.
And then, have you been working on new music during this lockdown period?
I've been working. I've worked on some music, but also more than anything, I've been doing lots of mixing and mastering for my fellow artists who are sending music for me to engineer.
Yeah, that's why I'm even asking that, because a lot of people might not know that you are a sound engineer as well, professional sound engineer. You didn't just wake up and you're a professional sound engineer. You mixed my EP as well. I mean, you mastered my EP as well. How do you balance? Because I know as a creative, you always need to be putting music out. So how do you balance as a career and also being a public figure, if I can put it that way?
Fortunately, during lockdown, because on weekends there is no events. What I do weekends, I work on my music. During the week, it's like office hours for other people's music. So I tell them on weekend I don't work, but then knowing that deep inside I'm actually working, but on my own material. That's how I try to balance it. I know it's not easy, because sometimes I just want to kill the deadlines and but I try my best.
Yeah. So earlier on when you were talking, you were saying like it's challenges as well as an individual, For you, how did those challenges help you in your music career? You sometimes you face things as an individual that either make you be a stronger person, more resilient, and say, I can get through anything. But how did your personal experience and challenges help you become a better individual within the entertainment industry?
Obviously, I would say it helped me because I remember back before I went through some challenges, I was really a very up and down person. I loved speed, I loved cars, I loved being where it's busy. But now I'm more calm. I'm that guy who closes himself in studio and work on someone else's songs while that someone is out there partying. So being calm helped me to become start taking the whole thing of mixing. I'm starting very seriously because it needs your time. You need it wants you to close yourself in studio for almost the whole day while you're trying to tweak. So being calm gave me the advantage to be able to actually tackle that. And also, I'm a stronger person, I think. So that helps me to also know how to communicate with people. And I remember then I used to really like alcohol back then, the old me. But now, man, I'm always more than anything sober. So I'm able to, whatever I do, it's a sober decision. When I say I'm doing this, I'm doing it. I'm able to commit. I don't procrastinate anymore. So more than anything, that's what I've learned.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Things, yeah.
So this journey for you now.
Yeah.
Right now you're a Chymamusique, you're this DJ, you're this big artist, you know. I'm just saying, but
yeah,
it has to start somewhere, you know. Someone
absolutely.
doesn't just wake up and say I want to be a DJ without having a backstory.
Yeah.
For you, where does that backstory start? Like, where was the moment you said this is the journey I'm taking?
This.
Yeah.
I remember I started being in the whole music thing in year 2000. That's when I learned to play piano. And I used to play piano at church, and we had a small Nyana jazz band in my hometown in Beggersfort, you know. And then from there I moved to Joburg to come and study. As I was studying, that's how I met actually house, like for real, in Joburg.
Yeah.
With the boys from all over, like, this is deep house, you know. You know how they praise deep house. Yeah, deep house, not just anyone. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how I met that genre. And then, because I had jazz and gospel background, I just easily said, okay, let me fuse what I know with what this guy's like. But then still I didn't take it too seriously then. I think it was year 2007. And then year 2009, 10. That's when I lost my father in year 2005. And then my mom, my mom was trying to take care of us, but it was quite difficult. So as a man, I remember, fortunately, before my father passed on, he bought me a little piano and drums and speakers. So I used to make some small money when I'm home. They'll rent at weddings, at parties, you know. So when I came to Joburg, I wanted to do the same thing. But then I couldn't have my sound there. I was staying in a small half room. So I was like, okay, what can I do? That's when now production really had to happen. Because I had to make money to pay for my own stuff, including fees and accommodation. Because I knew my parents, my mom wasn't employed by then. She was struggling to make her own ends meet. So as a man, I had to say, okay, now, brah, you are here. What are you gonna do? And then that's how I started doing production. I remember I wrote my first song, Lost in Words, in 2011.
Yeah, I remember
that one. But then I used to make music since when? 2007. But then I never released anything. I think I used to even produce the wedding music that when you enter Limpopo, you hear.
Yeah. There's a specific sound.
Home.
Our sound.
So I made that also. I produced for many of them, the big guys there. And then that's how I realized, I know how to use the software now, which was Fruity Loops. And then when I migrated to house, it was like I know the software now. It's just a matter of putting the sound to a particular direction and target my peers. That's how I went to house. So it's a journey.
I'm sure the Little Collin, growing up in Beggersfort, didn't think of himself being a producer. What did that Little Collin want to be?
The Little Collin was so influenced by the father. The father was the teacher, and the dad was providing. So I said, I want to be my father. But then my father said, no, you got to be a mining engineer. There's money. Sure. That's how I ended up studying mathematics and science. And then my first course that I did was analytical chemistry. And the reason analytical chemistry because I wanted to study chemical engineering, but it was full. And then I said, okay, cool. What's next? They said, no, chemical's still here, but you can do analytical chemistry. That's what I studied at UT. And then thereafter I realized, damn, man, these chemicals, I don't want to work. I don't want to be the stuff called pipetting, where you have to look at a chemical and just analyze it. That's why it's called analytical chemistry. You wait for a reaction to happen. Then when it happens, you look at the time. That's how you'll know the amount of content. I was like, damn it.
That time, music is just banging in your head.
Yeah, and then that's how I was like, when I went to the half room, I was like, I'm buying creatives.
It's funny. I think every DJ has a story with creative speakers.
Yeah.
You know, just saying, that's it. I'm gonna start producing.
That's the speaker I used to make Lost in Words.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought creatives and I had a small computer. You know, those computers where it's always open. Somehow it just starts. You just have to and then it works. So yeah, and then from there, after when I left TUT, after analytical chemistry, I remember I saw DJ Fresh was like radio. Okay, he studied at Boston. I was like, oh, radio is a DJ. Damn, it means if I wanna do this, then I must go there. But the fees were quite steep. And then I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Then I had to go and get a loan, student loan somehow, using my mother, using some other people, you know, promising them that I'll pay them somehow. Fortunately, I had now released the song. So I saw, there's little, people are still buying music then from your Afro days, yeah. There was little something coming. There were gigs, nyana, you get that 2,000 and then you easily pay back the people who are paying your interest, you know.
Wow.
And then it grew from there. And then all of a sudden I was able to pay off all my loans.
Wow. From music.
TUT, yeah, from your TUT. Because I remember Dance Fast, I owed them a lot of money. I also owed a specific bank a lot of money, which is way above. But I asked myself today, like, okay, how did I even take that big risk of being, let's say, being a young boy like me, where I go to a bank, like, I make people borrow 200,000 and I'm young. Why am I going to get this money? But I realized that some of the things is just God giving you that faith. Say, go.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
And I think for that, right, you need to have a certain element of having a business mind as well.
Yeah.
So
calculate.
For you, starting this music industry and you start making music, when did you start incorporating, you know, business into the music business? Because I see a lot of guys, they don't know, they just think music is producing and that's it. But there's a business side of it. When did you start realizing, oh no, I need to take this as a business as well, not just music I'm making,
For me, automatically it happened because I needed money. So every cent that the music can do, I had to ask.
Yeah.
I remember there was Soul Candy then. I would go and just sit there and just watch the guys work, ask them about licensing. When you license a song, how much does one get? Doing remixes, how much do I get? So I'll say, okay, when there's I remember, also, by the way, the best way that launched me into the game was when I did remixes for your Mikasas, for your Black Hole, the remix competitions. And so for some reason, I managed to win all the competitions. And that's how I got my equipment, actually. A mix and I think 2 speakers. Actually, I won 4 speakers, yeah. And the mix, actually, I didn't buy equipment not to start with.
Yeah.
I won equipment. And then the others, the ones that I just bought now when I was already done with school and stuff. But my basic equipment, I had one Kadi remix competition. So Candy had this competition with Black Hole and also Castle Light and Mikasa, all of them.
So that played a role to who you are today.
Yeah, because now people started caring, okay, who's this small boy who's taking all the remix competitions, who's winning? And then that's how I said, okay, I'm lost in words.
Okay, let's go back to the Collin in Beggarsford, that little boy.
Yeah.
What did he grow up listening to? Like, what kind of music was influenced his taste in music back then?
Because of my father, gospel.
Sure.
Yeah, my father always pushed lots of gospel to us, and I remember listening to some jazz also. Fortunately, I had friends who listened to jazz. All my friends are always older in most cases, so they listen to jazz. They'll play some jazz. And I remember maybe, let's say, around 2006, 2007, that's when I started listening to compilations by your Vinny Da Vinci, your Christos, DJ Claude, you know, Euphonics, Kenphonics. That's how now I was like, oh, okay, this is nice, you know.
Yeah.
So, but more than anything, I grew up in a gospel background, gospel and R and soul and ballads. I remember there was my uncles also, when my mom is born, they used to play like soul, R&B ballads and stuff.
So I think anyone who would be curious, that ask themselves, why didn't you go that route? Like, why didn't you, be that, because you knew how to play the instruments, né? But why didn't you go that route and say, I'm gonna be Chymamusique, the R&B artist?
Because now I realized I had to sell to my peers. My peers at parties in the communes. I was like, okay, what are they listening to? There's a song I remember called 1,000 Seconds by Black Hole. Like, damn, this is nice. And it's simple. Without it's very simple. I knew I can go into studio in an hour. I can come up with a beat as long as I know what I'm doing. So with soul and R&B, you need a live guitar. You need really someone to come and sing. So with house, it's easier because you can just sample small portion of a saxophone and put it there and play everything on the keyboard. Then you're done.
Yeah.
But with soul and R&B and gospel, it's quite difficult to do that.
And a lot of people don't know that when you're starting your music career, you were singing on Lost in Words. The song that pushed you.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of creativity when it comes to making music. You have to think of something.
But another thing that I realized is the struggles motivate you somehow.
Nah.
So, because if my dad was there, paid for my fees, and money was there, I wouldn't have done music, bro. I would be maybe somewhere being a spoiled brat, saying my mom doesn't give me money, demanding money, and smoking drugs or doing something else.
Yeah.
But then because I realized, I have to stand for myself from when I was like 15. When my dad passed, I knew, okay, now life versus me. I had to stand for the rest of my family.
So challenges push you to become better in a way.
So even now when I see a challenge, I'm like a chance to grow.
So how did this challenge that we experienced in 2020, the biggest challenge, COVID,
Yeah.
how did that push you as a creative, as an artist?
I end up growing my mastering and mixing business, which is even better because now I work from home. And also the whole thing of doing, you can see I've got a hoodie that's got my name, stuff like this, where you get that $100. It goes a long way, especially now because it's COVID. You don't really need to travel.
Yeah.
You don't spend much on petrol. All you spend on is maybe those things, those very important things. So, and I learned how to, I communicated with many people, also remixing. I've done remixes for people, and then for a certain amount. So more than anything, I also, networking wise, online, having those, Skype conversations, interviews, and also just technology.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. There's
Yeah.
many things. And also I had, it's many things actually in the past 5 months that I couldn't have learned if COVID didn't happen.
So in a way, it forced you to become a better individual.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like the time they open, I'm going to be better than when it started.
What's the first thing you want to do? Like normal, we're back to normal now. Things are back to sharp.
Yeah.
Like we're normal. What's the one thing you want to see yourself doing?
One thing that I want to see myself doing is I'm coming up with a way of giving young ones platform. I've got people already that I'm speaking to be it being coming to studio, build a studio, they come and see how we do this, because I know there's no jobs really in South Africa. So some of us, there are some people who studied but they can't find jobs, regardless of your qualification. So it means now every person must check where they're creative. Be creative. If you can sing, if you can have your own small studio at home, teach them how to set up something small so they can stay away from the streets where maybe their lives might be in danger,
Yeah.
So try to show them the whole process, that this is how it began, like a story like this. If they're watching at home, they'll be like, oh, okay. So it's not like, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of challenges that you said you went through that helped you become a better individual and that have pushed you, but there's also big things that have happened in your career as well.
Yeah.
Things that they're highlights for you. When you look back, you're like, I can't believe I achieved this.
Yeah.
For you as Chymamusique, what's the biggest thing you think you've achieved? And you look back every time and you see like, yeah.
Oh, I remember it was winning a Metro FM award.
Starting the question again.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right. So as an artist, there's, like you were saying, there's a lot of challenges that helped you push to become a better person.
Yeah.
But there's also big, good things that happen to you as an artist. What is for you as Chymamusique? What's the biggest thing that has happened in your career so far?
I would say it's the Metro FM award, because then it was my first solo album. It was 2015. Yeah. And I was 25, and I was up against big guys. Somehow I managed to win that award. So that should be the biggest. And also when I remember Louis Vega was in South Africa, I got a call like, Louis Vega wants to meet up with you.
Sure.
When I met up with him, it's like, I want us to start working together. Got remixes coming. If you got anything, let's work. It's many things. Monique Bingham's, like people that I looked up to when they started hitting me up, like, let's do this, kid. Like I'm a kid to them. Obviously. I'm like, let's do this. Where is your studio? Can we come? them. How is this all happening? But I understand now that, okay, so you have to go through some things that put us at a certain low stage. So when people, somehow it attracts older people. I think most people who are legends in the game, they give me that respect as if I'm old, but I know I'm young. I'm like,
good man.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the things that I've went through. They were training me to say, okay, your father is gone, now you become a father at 15 in a way.
Sure.
You know, so I can say now I've been a father for almost 15 years to my little sisters, to my mom, to support her. So I believe that's what also drove me to a little bit of maturity, even though sometimes I can be a clown,
Yeah. I love that, man. Like you stepped up when it was tough, and a lot of people, something happens, a knock happens in life. Everyone's gonna experience that, but they go the other way. You just took that up, and you decided, I'm gonna make music, and now your music is helping other people, to recover, to go through stuff. But now you get these legends hitting you up, your big guys.
Yeah.
Making music for them, like what's your creative process like when you make a song? I know some people, they record themselves when they're doing but what's your process of making music?
The process of recording myself on the phone is actually, it stopped in 2015. I used to do it because I was always going to school and stuff, and more than anything I was all the time I was producing. But now what I do, I just sit in studio, man. They call me Mr. Gown now because I just wear my gown.
I'm surprised you didn't come with the gown today, because I was expecting he's going to walk in with the gown now.
I just rock my gown and I sit in the studio quietly,
Yeah.
I'm a gospel person, so I'll play piano, play some piano, play along, maybe a gospel song.
Yeah.
And then from there, I come across a chord, I stop that song, I'm like, how did this guy move from? Because the thing is with gospel and jazz, those guys, they really know their music. They're
very musical,
very, unlike us on more house. With us on house, you can just play one chord, you're done. Those guys, they can play maybe 20 progressions or whatever it is, man. So I always steal some stuff from them and incorporate. So my process would be to sit in studio, play along those jazz or gospel, steal some chords from your YouTube, check the tutorials. I always want to learn, so I check lots of tutorials, and from there I start a beat from scratch.
So from those projects you learn from their music, and you make your own music.
Yeah.
You've made a lot of music. I know a lot of your music. What's your favorite Chymamusique song?
That will have to be Lost in Words, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I sang, I produced, I mixed, and I mastered. Basically, that's 100% pure ear.
And that was your first that broke you into the industry.
Actually, the first song, even when you search for me, the oldest song, that's the one. And it's still the most streamed song on my list when I check my stats.
Sure, that's big. Yeah. And now you have your own label. You're a label owner. You do everything independent. You push yourself.
Which is hard.
I want to get into that. Why did you decide to go that route? Because a lot of people would say like, no, you can do this. Let me just sign to a big label or whatever that label is. But you went and decided to do things yourself. Like what? Because I see it a lot from the guys, especially from home, from back home in Limpopo. They want to push their own thing and say, let me do it. What drove you to go that route?
With me, I think is because for some reasons, when I made a song, the labels didn't believe in it. They felt like it's too soft, it's too soulful. I remember Lost in Words, I submitted it to almost all the major labels. And then they said it's too soulful, it's too soft. I released it myself on Afro this year. And then it went to your track sources. I think after 6 months, now they wanted it. I think they came for me. I think in the same week, all the labels were like, okay, please bring this song. But unfortunately, it was already released. But So Candy somehow managed to take it because DJ Terrence hit me up and they called me for a meeting and he put it on his compilation. So more than anything, I think it was because people thought Soulful House is just too soft. It's not like, it's like.
But there's an audience. Like I think everything has an audience.
Absolutely.
You don't have to. You don't have to conform and say, "Oh, people are doing this. Let me do this."
Yeah, basically, it's with us on Soulful House. We have very few producers in South Africa who are really doing Soulful House. So if you're starting your party, you want someone who's gonna play at 8, and you just told me I can be really very soulful, where you'll be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know like about this about you, that you also do your own events. You know,
yes.
You started doing that a few years back, and you started doing your own parties and throwing your own birthday parties, and they were never small. You never do something that small. They were always big. You'd have multiple stages. I remember once I came through, you had multiple stages.
I'll never do that again. I think I booked like 30 DJs.
Yeah. So, I mean, not everyone wants to do events. Some people just want to play. That's all. Like, book me, that's all. Why did you also decide to go events? Because I know the challenges of doing an event.
You know, my man, I think the reason I started doing events was because I wanted to have my own thing, you know, where the music that I love is played. I remember when I started doing my parties at House 22 Pretoria, I booked people who I really want to listen to and enjoy my birthday. So from there I was like, damn. So whenever I do my parties, I know, okay, this is how I want to build up and then end it like this. But then the thing is, it's stressful.
Yeah. I remember seeing you at that one. Like, you were just walking there, and
I was like, I'm not there, man. I remember that event.
But you kept doing other events after that, you know.
But I didn't do double stages anymore. I didn't book the DJs anymore. So now all I'm doing is controlled events. Even if I would book maybe 5 DJs, it's manageable, and they come and they play. Book artists, manageable.
So something like lockdown and everything that has happened helped us be more creative.
Absolutely.
We see a lot of people emerging, a lot of sound, creative ways to be a producer.
Yeah.
Like, who are the people that you've been seeing on your radar and be like, here something is coming? Like, you see, you look at upcoming artists, you see the old you in them. You see that hunger, see that person.
Yeah.
Who are those people that you see that are coming up?
Because unfortunately I've been doing lots of mixing and mastering for some labels, so I managed to pick guys like China Chameleon, and also there's Chronicle Deep, there's there's quite a lot of guys that I picked during this, but these 2 guys, more than anything, they make that sound. They
remind you of the old you.
And also there's a boy called Dustino. It's also pushing quite well man, it's quite many of them.
And you've managed to also mix and master for their project as well.
Some I just mastered, and for Stay True Sound, and then some individually, because some of them they still wanted to release with me, and I had a remix competition also, I think, during lockdown. So that's how I picked some producers also, and it happened to be the very same guys that I was like, who won the competition.
So now you're saying like some of them wanted to release with you and stuff. You are a label owner, manager, and everything.
Yeah.
How do you manage that ear? Because I know you've released different sounds on your label and stuff like that. How do you manage being that and also being an artist at the same time? Because for that is different. People don't know that that's different things. Being an artist and being a label owner.
Yeah, with the whole piracy thing going on also.
Yeah.
So we do it because we love it, really. You know? Yeah. So I do that. I set times like at night. Lately, I don't produce anymore. I go through music. I'll check that because many people suggest songs randomly. I'll check nice songs. I'll check Shazamables. I call them that. You know? And then I'll try to build some sets. Sometimes I do mixes for radio stations and podcasts once in a while. So at night, that's my time to do them. In the morning, I'm more creative production wise, and at night, that's when I go through music. Maybe if not, I can mix and master at night, but then not production, because for some reason at night I'm like, let me relax.
You're more chilled at night.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, music and producing, it helped you because you're independent now.
Yeah.
And this is not easy. Like, I know for a fact that's not easy. It helped you go overseas.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
How was that experience for you, like playing overseas, and what's the difference between playing there and playing at home?
Thing is, when you play out of the country, man, it's different. You get there, you meet people for the first time, they speak a different language. The sound they listen to, their tempo, it's not the same. Because one thing I can tell you now, their tempo out there is not the same as us here. Here now we're getting softer, but out there they're
pushing.
They're exercising, you know. So, but more than anything, also for the gigs that I had, for some reason, being home is nice. You know, you can call your guys, they come, you talk to someone while you play. That side, my man, it's work. You really just focus on your decks. And then thereafter, you're trying to get to the hotel and just chill there, nothing to do. You know, it's quite different. So more than anything, I mean, I'll say I enjoy being in South Africa. Also, the traveling, you are tired, you're exhausted. You spend 18 hours in the flight. You get there, you play maybe 2 events, which is maybe about 2 hours. For me, I'm like, damn, those 18 hours, I would be in the studio doing something.
So you don't want to build an international, you don't want to be a brand that's more international, like traveling different countries. You want to work on home.
I feel like it's draining.
Okay,
Yeah, I feel like it's draining for me. I would do it maybe once in a while, but absolutely not where I have to be touring for the whole 6 months. But and I'm also a very family-oriented person, so I want to be around my loved ones, you know. So that's why I feel like the whole thing of mixing and mastering is gonna work for me as I grow older.
Dope. Yeah. So you're saying you're Mr. Family-oriented, you know. So what, like, you're from Beggersford. What's the thing that you love about being from where you're from, you know, because I know every hometown is different.
The mountains, man.
Yeah.
You know, there we just climb a mountain. Here in Gauteng,
you're hiking.
Yeah, hiking. So there we just climb a mountain, you know, easy. Just go on top of the mountain and you get the village. But here now, I got to Joburg, like, we're going hiking. Like, what's that? Then they made me climb a mountain. I was like, okay, when are we starting hiking? Like, no, dude, you're hiking. I'm like, oh, okay. I used to hike while I was still young, guys. I've been hiking forever, you know. So the mountains and just the peace there at home, at least, you know, from your crime rates, you know, it's very low. Even though also the life is very slow, you know, you go and watch the guys playing soccer tournament, nothing much to do. And another thing about my hometown, I think very few people know exactly what's going on with this guy. He's a DJ, okay. How many times do I play Raw? Maybe once a year. You know, so like they don't understand what exactly I'm doing. Even the music that I play, they don't really relate. That's why my life is in Joburg. That's why I had to build my own home in Joburg.
So from coming from a place like a small town like that, you know, do you think it's challenging to come out and not say you want to be a teacher, a doctor, but you want to do something way different?
It's challenging.
You know?
Yeah, actually, more than anything, even the family, those try and say, what are you doing? You know? Why can't you be a teacher, like, you know? Why can't you work at the mine and be an artisan, you know? What's trending is artisans. And miner is those guys that you meet.
He's wearing, in town, he's wearing his suit.
Walking like this, you know? And then you come, you're wearing your shorts like you're a DJ. You're like, you know?
So there's actually, you feel like music basically exposed you to a different world.
Absolutely.
Now you're in Joburg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's different.
It probably wouldn't be the side if it was like your...
I would have studied and then went back and just did my chemical stuff there, be a little bit depressed, and then eventually become a pastor.
I still see that. That I think it's still going to happen. It's going to happen one day.
Yeah, it's very possible. I would.
Yeah. So we were talking about this like a bit off air, you know. Music has been dropping. A lot of people have been dropping music.
Yeah.
5 songs. 5 songs that you know that when you listen to the song, you're like,
during lockdown.
Or even before. You can even go before lockdown. But everyone I know, they have songs they listen to. It doesn't even have to be house.
Yeah. I've been listening to an album by Zoe Mudicha. There's a song that says Jikizi. I play it all the time when I drive. It's quite chilled. And also an album, gospel album by Mbedzis. Like in my car, though, I hardly listen to house. And there's a song by Raps It's House, though, featuring Charlie. And also there's a song a remix that I did for Sculptured Music, which people are reacting to so much. I've grown to love it too, Speak Lord. And also there's a song there's an EP by the way I was talking about, an album by Chronicle Deep. Also that the couple EP.
Yeah, and we are past 5 now.
Yeah, man, I can go on and on and on, but more than anything, you know, the guys have been doing. Also, Dark is just there's a guy called Dark. Also, he's dropped something recently with Press Music. So it's many guys who are really dropping dope music that just go like South Africa, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really proud.
So for that guy, like, that wants to be mentioned by you and say, okay, because you're dropping a lot of names now.
Yeah.
That kid that's from Begersfort that's watching this right now and saying, yo, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, what would you advise that kid, you know?
I would advise them to be themselves. Don't try and say you hear someone's song and you copy their style, because more than anything, people will hear your song and they'll think it's that person. More than anything, you will just bring people's memories back to the original producer of that particular sound. So just do what you feel, whatever. I'm going to end up preaching. I was about to say God, you know? Whatever God has put in your heart and your mind, and you feel like when you do it, you feel good, do it. That's where your treasure lies.
So if you were not a producer, a DJ, what do you think you were going to be right now? Who was I going to be talking to right now?
You're going to be talking to a analytical chemist. Probably also wanted to study law or mining engineering. That's what I would be. I would be wearing a suit and black shoes.
But you still rock that. I've seen you on your socials
and sheds. And, you know, man, I'll be that guy, very uptight.
Yeah, no.
And strict.
No, so after everything, what should we expect from you in the near future? What are you working on? Any new music that you're releasing?
Yeah. I've got a song that I'm working on with Wanda Baloyi. A song that I'm working on with Monique Bingham. There's events. There's a new place now that I'm pushing. Platinum launch. Lots of good music events coming almost every weekend.
Yeah,
absolutely. So COVID, vula. You know, I'm waiting for all those moments, and also events at home, and the whole thing of saying I want to open something where I'm going to be able to invite these young producers who I hear their music everywhere, and I'm like, there's no platform. Even if it means I put them on my platform, put them live where they produce so that people can follow them and know them. Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's what I love, especially about guys from home. They have this thing that I want to push people as well. Man. Like they have the community mindset.
Yeah, because we grew in a community. You know? Yeah.
But man, thank you so much for joining me today, man, and sharing a bit of your story.
Thank you, man of God.
Thank you for being with me, and I'm looking forward to what you're gonna drop, and I know that you've just been growing in your career, and I know that you're gonna still continue to grow. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor, and thanks to Vodacom. Next level. Yes.
All right. Win big with Next Level. All you gotta do is dial *128# and purchase 1 gig data bundle or more, and you could walk away with a brand new iPhone 11 and SMS your number to 32118, and you could walk away with a brand new iPhone 11.